postures for around 3 minutes each. Let's take Gaya Mudra, index finger and thumb touching, and you can either have your palms upturned on your knees or downturned, whatever you feel comfortable with. It says if you upturn, you're lifting your energy, and as you downturn the palms, you're grounding your energy. Closing your eyes when you're ready and softening your shoulders back, taking long, big breaths, conscious breathing, and the most generous breaths that you've taken all day. As you inhale, inflating, lengthening, filling up. As you exhale, grounding down and drawing lower belly in, yoking your breath. Keeping that going as you circle with your breath. And Yin teaches us to slow down as we come into our practice in a slower, more meditative way. We can focus on our breath and also how our breath can steer our mind. As our breath, when it's slower, helps our mind, as you know, and helps our nervous system calm down. And when we take slow exhales, this calms our nerves even more. Yin teaches us to look inside and to be aware of our mind, the patterns of our mind, and how we can notice the thoughts and then just breathe them away. So we'll be moving through different postures really slowly and slowing down our breath. And as you just take this time to slow down and pause from your day to your night, noticing this pause that we often don't give ourselves. And as you take a few more breaths, just being with what you would like to get out of this session for your own nourishment, your own healing, your own balance. Looking forwards, let's cross the legs the opposite way now. So front foot goes to the back. Take your hands to your knees and we'll just practice a few rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. Inhale, lift your heart, looking up. Exhale, rounding, draw lower belly into the pelvis. Inhale to lengthen again, looking up. Exhale to round, tilting. Inhale to lengthen, waving through your spine. Exhale to round, drawing lower belly in. And one more with your breath and your own rhythm as you inhale and exhale, widening across the shoulders. Inhale, coming to a flat back. Let's come to our hands and knees to lower the hips back to child's pose. Then we're going to take our forearms to the mat and cross our forearms and tilt our left cheek down to the top forearm. This is called tadpole posture in Yin. We're stretching our neck as well as getting a nice stretch through our spine to our hips, across our shoulders. As you breathe through, noticing the length of your breath again. Cultivating Ujjayi breath with a sound and equanimous breath for equal inhale and exhale. As you soften fully, breathing through the back of the body, having a sigh to relax your jaw. And as we hold this for 10 more breaths, noticing your toes on the ground, the balance from both feet all the way up through your shins, your knees, thighs, hips. Balance through to your shoulders. And then this turn through your neck with your left cheek down.
Noticing any sensations bubbling up and breathing through. In Yin, we breathe to create space, being in the flow of our breath as we release any tension and come into our center. Taking one more breath on this side, please. And then let's move the head to drop your right cheek, side of head to the top forearm. Noticing your forearms, and maybe you can switch the forearms around actually so the other forearm is near your face now. Right cheek down to the top forearm and soften through. Feeling your breath and the sensations of your breath. Any difference on this side and how your body feels. Tonight we'll be focusing with our liver and our kidney meridian lines. The liver meridian line starts from your big toe and it moves through the inner arch of your foot to the inner seam of your leg, of both legs, and up to your pelvis, then up through the center of your body to your liver, which is on the right lower rib side, crosses through your gallbladder, which is in the center, just below your ribs, and then up the center line of you to your throat, to your eyes, and the liver corresponds with your eyes, and then to the crown of your head. So you can notice that line as we're in this position now, from our big toes, all the way up the inner seams of the legs, the inside of the body, the central line, up to our eyes and the crown of our head. Taking one more breath, please. And then let's extend the hands forward. You can take the chin and the chest towards the ground. They don't have to be touching at all. Reach the hands a bit further forward if you want a deeper stretch. Walk the hands back a bit more if you want to back off. We're in a puppy dog pose or melting heart pose, Anahata chakra, our hearts. And as you soften your heart down to the ground, pressing the big toes to the mat and sensing this liver meridian line through you again. As you breathe through, we'll just take 10 breaths here because it's quite intense. Sensing to the hands, the arms, the shoulders, all the way through to your hips and your feet. Maybe sighing out with a big sigh. And as you soften your face, softening behind the backs of the eyes, softening your heart, and across your diaphragm, your lower ribs, and feeling a stretch through the front and the back of the torso. Noticing the lower ribs, your liver and your gallbladder. The kidneys at the back of the top of the hips. Having 2 more breaths and taking your breath to the back of the hips, the top of the hips, the kidneys. As if you could puff up the kidneys. We'll now come forward onto our elbows and lower the pelvis down to the ground, please. Noticing the toes again pressing to the ground. Notice the front of your thighs. Have a little wriggle so that you're aligned. Elbows are under shoulders for Sphinx pose. Hands can be just down to the mat with the fingers spread,
or you can press the palms together in prayer, maybe even interlacing the fingers, index finger pointing up. So choose which is the nicest option for you. In prayer, it's quite nice, or interlaced with index finger pointing, Nuttara Bodhi Mudra. Feeling through again from the big toes, all the way to your liver, which is on the right side of your lower ribs. Breathing through the center of your rib cage, up through the gallbladder, the heart, across your lungs. And as you exhale, possibly you can send your awareness to the back of the hips, your kidneys. So noticing your organs with your breath. Breathing into the belly, up to your heart. And exhale from your heart to the lower back. And circling round in this way. So you're circling from your pelvis, your belly, up to your heart. And then down to the lower back, the back of the hips, the kidneys. Keeping that going in your awareness. You want to take 10 more big breaths. Breathing deep. As when we focus with these energy lines, and particularly with our liver and kidneys, it's about cleansing, nourishing, flushing out any stuck stress or emotions, letting go of anger or agitation, and coming into a flow of life to just be in a point of neutrality, to be in a neutral, balanced point, and not reactive, not closed off, but just staying with your own balance of love and peace, of nourishment inside you. Taking 2 more big breaths, breathing through. And then let's lower down onto our forearms, please. Cross your forearms and sway your feet over your legs from side to side. Just have a little resting crocodile. Let's practice frog now. We can choose Sphinx arms again, but first of all, I'll just show you the more relaxed option, which is our crocodile arms, and taking the right knee out to the right, flex the right foot, so the foot is 90 degrees away from the shin, and the knee is about 90 degrees away from your hips. You have this frog's leg with the flexed foot. Notice your inner seam of the leg and the inner seam of your pelvis. And you can either stay with your crossed forearms or come up into Sphinx pose. So the elbows under shoulders again. Choose your hand options, either palms pressing down together or interlaced with index finger pointing forwards. Then we start to breathe through from the big toe, through this inner seam line more, to the inner pelvis, up through the center line of the lower belly, and across to the lower ribs on the right side where your liver resides. On the left lower ribs is the spleen, another cleansing organ. And in between, in the middle point, is your gallbladder. And as you breathe through, just noticing these 3 organs with your kidneys at the top of your hips again. And breathing possibly up to your heart, your lungs, of course, and through. In a big circle round again, circling with your awareness for nourishment, for vitality, for balance. Great, how's everyone doing? Where I'm staying quite low and I can't see you all. Brilliant. Great. And as you breathe, let's take 10 more big breaths through with our frog. And at the moment, there's little tadpoles and frogs, new baby animals, and the flowers flourishing. With summer solstice next month on the 21st. And I'm just arranging today, this afternoon, the last hour and a bit actually, that I'd like to organise a free festival for summer solstice. So I'm inviting friends who are teachers to be part of that, which is going to be really fun. That's going to be free for everybody on Saturday, the 21st of June. Actually, it's the 20th of June and Sunday is the 21st. And this year, summer solstice is on the 20th, which is the Saturday night, at about 9:34, I think, in the evening. So it's going to be an evening festival. And as you breathe through from your toes, noticing all the way, one more breath. And then let's lower down into crocodile, crossing your forearms the opposite way in crocodile. If you could just remember to switch them each time. Maybe you habitually always cross one forearm over and it just helps you go to the other side. Let's take frog to the other side now. So starting in crocodile with your arms, move the left knee out 90 degrees from the hip and the left foot 90 degrees from the shin. Either staying low in your crocodile with the arms or taking it up to Sphinx in the arms with the right foot pressing down. Notice both legs, level the shoulders, the hips, leveling through. Breathing big deep breaths. And feeling into this side. From the left big toe to the inner seam of the foot, through the inner ankle, the inner seam of the leg, to the pelvis, up the center line of your inner torso, across to the right lower ribs, to your liver, to the left lower ribs, to your spleen, the center of your lower ribs, to your gallbladder. And your diaphragm naturally is massaging these organs as well as the lower belly as we breathe in deep breaths. Noticing our heart and lungs, and to the back of the hips, the kidneys. Feeling lifted through the spine if you're in Sphinx, lifting your heart, pressing to both feet, lengthening through. Keep breathing big long breaths, nourishing this flow, this stream within you, all the water of your body and your mind. Breathing deep. If you could nourish yourself in a simple way, tonight, tomorrow, over the weekend, what could this be? To drink more water or eat healthy foods, vegetables and fruits. To do something special that's nourishing for you. Taking 10 more breaths, please. Feeling into this line. On your left side, your feminine. The moon side. Noticing the breath massaging within you. in the stream of nourishment. One more breath, please. And then let's lower down to crocodile again, crossing opposite forearm on top as you sway out the feet over the legs. Let's come up onto all fours, so pressing the hands under the shoulders, move your body up and to all fours. We're now going to sit down, so taking the feet forward and the soles of the feet together in butterfly pose. Let's take our hands to the shins and roughly about 3 or 4 fingers from your ankle bone up your inner seam of your legs. So mine's about there. There's a chi point which is really good for recharging your blood and the waters of your body. So if you can feel a sensitive point, so it's about 3 or 4 finger width up from your ankle bone, and you'll feel maybe the sensitive point that's right for you. Just feel into a point and press on that point. Let's then butterfly our knees out to the side, sitting long to the crown of your head, soften your shoulders back. Keep pressing on that point as it cleanses and recharges our blood. And I learned this once from acupuncture. I used to go because I've been having perimenopausal things going on for quite a few years, and I used to go for acupuncture, which I really enjoyed. So I was bleeding a lot and I had to replenish my blood, and this is a really good replenishing point for your blood. That's really good to press on that point. Okay, so let's still the legs now and we'll fold forwards. You can either hold that point still or start to massage your feet as you fold, or turning the soles of the feet open like a book, maybe pressing into the center of the ball of the foot and the inner arch, which is your kidney point, which is the kidney point. So it's the ball of the foot and the center of the ball of the foot where it meets the inner arch. As you lower forwards in your own way, let's stay here for 10 big breaths. So big conscious breaths, noticing equanimous breathing. With an inhale, lengthening slightly forwards, and as you exhale, softening your jaw, your shoulders. Staying lifted through your pelvis and keeping your pelvic floor lifted as if you're hollowing the pelvis and the lower belly. And this helps with our forward folds, also massages the internal organs. And as we're constricting our belly in this way as we fold forward, keep breathing through and noticing the back of the body. And if you have the thumbs pressing into that kidney point, the center of the ball of the foot and the inner arch, this connects to our kidney meridian. Connecting with our breath to the lower back, to the top of the hips. Puffing up your kidneys with an inhale, the back of the lungs. Exhale, releasing from the lungs back down to the kidneys. And keeping that going, just exploring in your own way with your breath. Taking 2 more breaths, please. Now let's come up to the top with our body. Great. Take the legs forward and just give them a shake out, a pat down if you've got any tension. We'll then open the legs wide for dragonfly, taking the feet wide and the toes turned up. Let's take our left hand on top of our left shin, the right hand to our right hip and ease over the leg. Noticing your left shoulder dropping to the left thigh, but keeping lifted through the left side of your body. So you're not really slouching down, you're staying lifted and reaching over the leg at a diagonal. You can keep this right hand to the hip or lift the hand above the head in a big diagonal. Maybe reaching both hands towards the foot, but staying a bit lifted so you've got that lift through the side bodies. And making room for the organs, room for your liver, the gallbladder on this side. As you notice your spleen being massaged on the left lower ribs with your breath. And feeling to the back and the lower back where your kidneys are. As you breathe through these organs to your heart and lungs. And let's stay for 3 more big breaths, and not so long with this stretch. Breathing with an inhale to lengthen, exhale to soften. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to soften. And 1 more, inhale. And exhale, taking the right hand back to the right hip, draw yourself back up to center. Just have a shrug out of your shoulders. Sometimes it's quite tense, that pose. For us, we'll take our right hand to our right shin, left hand to the hip. Ease yourself over again and stay lifted through that right side of the side body, not slouching too much. Creating space down the left side now. Flexing both feet, keep the legs active as you reach the left hand up and over if you did for the other side. Lengthening and staying at that diagonal so you're lifted. Keep going with the breath, breathing through. As often we stop breathing a little bit more fully in this posture, and it's really good to notice your breath. Each breath leading to the next. Breathing with focus, with determination. And Jung teaches us this. It teaches us that our mind makes up lots of things, especially negativity and fears. And our mind can create these stories which aren't true and that don't help us. And we can breathe through to just notice those and then realize they're not true and focus on a positive. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhale to soften. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, taking that left hand back to the hip, coming up to the top. Have a shrug out of your shoulders again. Let's draw the knees in, taking the hands to the outer knees and drawing them in. Just take your head to the top knee to seal that in. Now we're going to lower onto our backs and practice bridge pose. If you have any books around, I forgot to say just before class, you can even get some big books and we can have the books underneath your hips to help in restorative bridge. You probably need maybe 3 or 4 big wide books to do that, or we can just do it free. So your choice, run and get 1 or 2 or 3 if you need a book, otherwise let's just go onto our backs now. We're going to have the feet hip distance apart and parallel. Start with some pelvic lifts and then we'll stay in stillness.
Inhale, lift the pelvis off the ground. Exhale, start to round the spine back to the mat, hips last. Inhale to lift up, pressing to the feet. Exhale to round again back to the mat. Once more, inhale to lift the hips up. And exhale to take the mid back, the lower back, and the hips to the mat. Inhale, lifting up. You can stay with those pelvic lifts, of course, if they're better for you. Otherwise, staying in stillness. And we'll stay here for about 20 breaths. So building our determination, our focus, the strength in our legs. Noticing the big toes, your liver line. The center of the ball of your foot, the inner arch, your kidney line. The little toes and the outer edges of your feet up to the outer hips. Move to your spleen, which is on your left lower ribs. And both the spleen and the liver link to the gallbladder in the center of your lower diaphragm. So again, breathing with these organs, your lungs and heart. Lifting the front of the body with an inhale, lifting through the legs. Feel the glutes working. Feel the strength of your legs. Pressing the big toes, the little toes. The center point of the ball of the foot down. The heels down. Lifting up through the legs. Big deep breaths from your belly to your heart. Maybe having a sigh. And let's take 3 more big breaths here. And then slowly lowering down through the spine to your hips, hugging your knees in for a rock from side to side. Let's circle the knees round one way and circle them the other way as well. Now take some nice leg stretches. So we're going to hug our right knee in, flex both feet as you extend the left leg to the top of the mat, please. Sense into your shoulders, your hips, the back flat on the mat. And as you press through both feet, draw the right knee to the outer right ribs a little bit more. Feel through the legs, the torso. And as we press into this right side to our liver again, and as we cleanse and nourish our liver, it makes us feel alive. As you can think of liver as life, R, spelling, and thinking of it as pairing to the word alive or aliver for your liver. The more you feel nourished in your liver, the more you feel the joy and the passion of life. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to flex the foot, take the sole of the foot up to the sky. You can have your hands to your leg wherever they're comfortable, or if you can hold onto the outer edge of the right foot, drawing the knee down, maybe your left hand to your left thigh, keeping the hips and the shoulders level, the back pressing to the mat in this half happy baby. And it's quite an intense stretch, so go easy. Yin is teaching us where our edge is and to respect our body, to not push too much, to be in a place where we're in our truth with our practice and our truth in life for balance, not pushing,
too much, not doing too little, but doing our best. Taking 3 more breaths, please, here. And then let's straighten the leg, take your hands behind the thigh, circle your ankle around one way and the other. You can circle the knee as well, one way and then the other. Just ease off that leg. Maybe shake the leg, little jiggles through the flesh, and the bones and the ligaments and the meridian lines. And now bend the knee again, draw the knee over to the left, using your left hand if you like, and hold the knee down with the left hand. Right hand away from the body, shoulder height. Maybe the elbow is bent and the palms turned up. And if the elbow is bent, both shoulders are still down to the ground. As you turn your head, breathing through this right side. Big deep breaths. Sending the right hip down towards the top of the mat in your action to increase your awareness of the stretch. Let's take 10 deep breaths here, please. Big long breaths, breathing round, breathing through. Feeling this flow of nourishment. Great, everybody. One more breath, please. And then let's bring this leg back. Bring both knees in and circle the knees one way. And circle the knees the other way. Notice the sensations, the difference between the legs. Now let's hug our left knee in as we extend the right foot to the top of the mat. Flexing the feet, drawing this knee to the side of the left ribs. Both shoulders and hips are down and the back's flat. Leveling your head and your face as well. As you flex the feet, spreading the toes, pressing the ball of the foot, the kidney point, feeling the top of the hips, the kidneys. Let's take 3 more breaths here, please. As you breathe through, massaging the left side of your lower ribs, your spleen. And then we take our hands either to the leg, the thigh and the shin calf area, or your left hand to the outer edge of the left foot, drawing the knee down to the outer edge of your body. Right hand to the right thigh if you have the left hand on the foot. Feeling into the shoulders softening, your face soft. Keeping both feet flexed and active. 10 big breaths here. Noticing the difference between the sides as we balance. Breathing through. In this time to slow down and slowing with your breath. If any thoughts come back in, just breathing them away. Being here in the present moment. Taking one more breath, please. And then let's let go, straightening the leg up to the sky. Circle the ankle around one way and then the other. We shake the leg, take your hands away and shake all of the muscle, the flesh, the nadis, the energy lines. We'll rebend the knee and take the knee over to the right now. Your right hand can guide over with the left hand, away from the body, shoulder height. Maybe the elbow is bent. As you soften your shoulder down, palms turned up and you're gazing to the left. Breathing through. Actioning your left hip to the top of the mat again. Feeling into this left side with your breath. Taking 10 more big breaths, please. Each breath creating space. And 2 more breaths. As you come back to the center, let's hug both knees in and rock from side to side. You can circle the knees again one way and then circle them the other way. Now going to straighten both legs up, take our hands underneath our hips, palms are pressing down, and as you straighten the feet up, flex the feet, spread the toes away from each other. We'll stay here for about 20 breaths in our waterfall posture. Maybe circle the ankles round one way a few times, and then circling the ankles the other way. Point and flex the feet a few times. Then come into stillness where the feet are somewhere in between being active, flexed, and totally relaxed. So they're somewhere in between. Notice from your feet this waterfall effect of all the water, the blood of your body. Now moving down your legs, to your kidneys, to all of your internal organs of your pelvis, your lower belly, liver, spleen and gallbladder, heart and lungs, all the glands, the systems of the body, your thyroid, your throat, your face, the backs of the eyes, your jaw relaxing. Trying to soften everything. Keep the slight action from the feet. The legs are balanced. All the rivers of your body, the lymphatic system, all the energy lines. This flow of abundance, of vitality, of nourishment. Taking 5 more breaths, please. And staying with the legs, maybe they're building up with lots of sensations now. Just breathing through. One more big breath. And then slowly shaking your legs, take your hands away from your hips and shake the arms, shake the hands.
Great. We're now going to take our heels to the top of the mat, take our hands to the sides, and then start to flex and point the feet so that we get a bit of a jiggle going through the legs to the hips and through the spine. We did this last week, so some of you will have done this before and remember this. And this resets our spine, helps with all the joints of our body. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get the rhythm, so you're in this flow state of rippling through your body to the back of your head. So you should feel the back of the body on the mat, and then the inner body in this jiggle, this rippling, moving like a wave through you, motion to your head. And then let's soften. We'll circle the ankles, circle the hands. Take your hands above your head, please. Straighten the legs. And we'll take our right wrist, holding on to the right wrist, both hands over to the left upper corner of the mat, and both feet over to the left lower corner. Maybe stepping the right foot on top of the left ankle, keeping the hips down to the mat and the shoulders down, hips and shoulders level. As you just enjoy this really nice stretch all through the right side of you. Breathing big, deep belly breaths. Let's take 10 big breaths on this side. Noticing, creating space for all your organs in this river stream of nourishment to flow through. And as you soften your face, softening shoulders, down through the body to your hips. Feeling around the right shoulder, and down the right side. Feeling your belly rise with an inhale. And exhale, softening. Taking one more breath, please. Move both hands and feet back to the middle of the top and the bottom of the mat. And then taking hold of your left wrist, moving the hands over to the upper right corner and both feet over to the lower right corner. Maybe stacking the left foot on top of the right again. And as you breathe through, feeling into this left side, this crescent moon stretch with the new moon in the sky at the moment with Gemini energy. And Gemini is an air sign, all to do with balancing the two hemispheres of your brain and balancing your life more with the twins as the symbol. That there's two ways and many ways of doing things. You have to come into a balance of what's right for you. Just slow down your mind and to be in this more focused approach to life and with mindfulness. Noticing the left side, the left shoulder, side body and hip. Breathing through. Taking 2 more breaths, please. Coming back to center. Let's hug the knees in and rock from side to side again. You can take the feet towards each other and circle the knees out away from each other, then in a few times if you like butterfly wings again. And then taking the knees in that reverse circling out and in the other direction. Let's now just wrap our right leg over our left for internal rotation of the hips slightly. We take our hands either to the top knee or to the shins, or maybe to the feet, if you can draw the feet either side. And if you can remember what cow face pose looks like when we're seated, we're doing the same in supine now as we're lying down. With the right thigh over the left thigh and trying to draw the feet out to the sides equally. Feel the inner pelvis, the outer hips. You'll feel where it's tight for you. Your hands don't need to be to the feet, they can be anywhere that's comfy, that's best for you, even to your thighs if that's better. We'll now switch the legs, so switching the left leg over the right, please. Again, this side can be totally different, and the stretch reveals which hip is tighter. So notice that and breathe through. Coming into softening your shoulders, your face, your jaw. The back is balanced on the mat. Breathing around the pelvis, the sacrum, the hips. And then softening down. Let's relax fully now for Shavasana, relaxation. Choosing your position, hands out to the sides, away from the body, palms turned up. Legs can be straight or in restorative rest. If you like to have your left hand to your heart, your right hand to the belly, you're welcome to as well. And as you settle for your full relaxation, allowing your breath now to just be soft, like an inner caress. And the whole of your body to soften, like it was melting to the ground. Imagining you're on a warm beach with the warm sand, golden underneath you. The waves of the ocean, creating a beautiful sound as the waves lap against the sand, the shore. And seeing the sunlight reflected over the water, glistening and dancing. Imagining beneath the water a beautiful coral reef with magnificent, colourful fish. Imagining over the waves, playful dolphins jumping and playing. And as you lie on the beach, the breeze moves over you, the warm sun and the sand below. And perhaps in the distance there's trees,
You can hear birds and animals. And as you imagine the senses of your body, you can smell a tropical fragrance, maybe even taste a cool ice cream, hearing the sounds of the ocean, and seeing its golden light inside you. As you rest, softening the whole of your body. And noticing this energy of the beach, of your own tropical sanctuary. And then sending this down to your toes, to your feet. Feeling the warmth moving up through your legs. Shining across your pelvis, and this golden light filling up through your torso, all of your organs and cells. As your shoulders relax even more. And this flowing energy moves down your arms to your hands, the palms of your hands, fingers and thumbs, all the way back up to your shoulders, across your collarbones and neck, up to your head, your face, relaxing the whole of you, all the way through. As you bask in this light, soaking this light in, and I read a passage from Opening Doors Within by Elaine Caddy for today. You are pure love. When you can accept that you are pure love, you can see yourself as the microcosm of the macrocosm. You can realize that you have this pure love within every part of you, that there is no longer any separateness, and that nothing and no one can be separate from us, as we are connected to all. You are individually what is universally. Seek your truth and light this truth up with your passion. Step into your own light. You are true love. And as you start to awake in your own time, moving your fingers and your toes, taking a few breaths, having a stretch in your own way, coming up to seated when you're ready, there's no rush. And as we arrive and seated, let's draw our hands to your heart. Bowing your head to your heart and bowing to each other. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot. A lovely class and very slow.